Alright everyone, hey, this is RC Mechanic, and we're going to be working on the GCM Racing skeleton chassis today. What I've got going on is need to take care of these drive shafts right here. Got this intermediate shaft. I've been looking for one to go in here. I have some hot racing new drive shafts to go in for the front and rear, and we're going to just go ahead and throw those on at first. Take a look at the suspension, because on this one, as you can see, she likes to cam over, and the ride height is quite a bit higher in the back than in the front. Stay tuned, because we're going to get going on that, and we might just actually get it to move under its own power. We're going to do something different on this motor right here, so stick around, watch. Okay, so I guess the first thing we need to do is get these old drive shafts off. These are some cheap drive shafts I found on Amazon that I thought I could make work. They did for a while. I mean, until I got to the point where, like on a lot of them, in the middle right here, see where it's square in the end? Once you get down so far, it's just round. So that caused kind of a problem. Does not want to come off. There we go. Boy, that was stuck. Maybe it's a good thing I'm not using these. At the moment, it doesn't even need a pin. I guess it's going to be a big job just trying to get these off. And it's so close to the end right now. There we go. Dang, that's a tight fit. Alright, let's see if I can get the rest of these off. Hopefully it won't be as exciting. It must have been just that one. I'll show you what I meant. Alright, so see the end right there? There's no squareness to it. What I was going to do is just take and braze or weld these together, but I decided to do it the right way and get something else. Okay, so I was being a little dumb, I guess. The reason why this one's too short is because I grabbed the wrong one. This here is actually the one I bought, made by, I don't know what it's called, an Aimrock. I think it's supposed to be longer. So now we're on to the correct transmission. I'm just going to stick this in the bag so I don't lose it. And this one comes with pins and even a wrench. Let's try that again, huh? Fits good. That's a plus right there. Quit throwing it around, man. See, I'm not going to Loctite these right now because I just want to make sure everything's going to fit. And it looks like it is. It also looks like I may need to move this over there, because otherwise the drive shaft angle is just going to be all wrong. Oh, that's much better. Everything clears. It looks good. It actually looks very scale-like. You can see all that. So, which has got me thinking now. I originally got these hot racing drive shafts right here to put on here, but I have a set of incision ones that I have on a different truck that I could put on here. But I think what we're going to do today is just put these on so that you know, we can actually make sure we have some drive shafts here to work with. These are supposed to be like for an SCX-10. They're 142 millimeters long at the longest. So the reason why I bought these hot racing drive shafts is because they're like super strong. They are the only drive shafts that have survived the Wraith, and that one has been through 3 sets, including MIP drive shafts. So, and the price isn't too bad. So if I was really worried about scale, I guess I would put those incision ones in there. They do look a lot more like a real drive shaft than these do. I don't really plan on bashing this thing, really. I mean, it's going to be a trail truck, so these actually might be a little long for this back. Looks like I'm going to have to go grab them incision drive shafts anyway. Hopefully they're a little shorter. Okay, so you can see that this is the incision right here. Here's the hot racing. You can see that the difference in length right here is probably going to be enough. Let's take a look and see. That's extremely tight too. Looks like what we're going to end up doing here is I'm going to end up modifying these. These actually look better on this truck. They actually match this intermediate shaft. They're already a little bit shorter. I just need to take like few millimeters off. So to do that, what I will end up doing here is I will trim, okay, kind of like a tractor drive shaft. Trim a little bit right here, and a little bit right here, same length, and that'll shorten this drive shaft up. I don't believe this part bottoms out, but let's see. Yeah, it does. So I'll have to take a little bit off each end, and we'll go from there, I guess. So stay tuned for that. We're going to do some modifying on drive shafts, I guess. I cut about 8 millimeters off of these, and that left a chunk like this off the end of this side. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and see if this fits, but it looks like my battery's almost dead, so real quick I'm gonna change that. Let's see what happens here. Everything still fits in there. I found one of the grub screws. What did I do with the other one? Here we go. Wish us all luck. So it looks like it's gonna work out just fine. That 8 millimeters, it's not going to hinder anything, and it still says incision on the drive shaft. Alright, so I guess what we're doing here is swapping the hot racing and incision drive shafts across. So now the Jeep over here going to get the hot racing drive shafts, and I'm going to take the incision drive shafts out of the Jeep, put them in here. So I'll most likely just get another set of incision drive shafts. So I really like them. They seem to be pretty dang strong, but I don't know. I haven't field tested them yet to know for sure. Let's go ahead and knock this one out. It should fit in the front, since these are just a wee bit shorter. So there we are. Incision drive shafts are in. Looking good, huh? Yeah. Alright. I'm happy with that. Everybody looks happy with that. Yep, they do. Okay, so the next thing coming up on here is to be working on the suspension. And I did notice one thing while I was playing with all this stuff, is that the drive shaft right there hits the case right there. Actually, that's where it bottoms out, is right at the case. There won't be much travel on this bad boy, but hey, that's okay. It's a trail truck. Alright, so my next idea on this thing is go with, since there's not very much room to put anything on this, I'm not sure if I can put it on the body of the Jeep itself. I might go with a different kind of motor. Time to move on to the motor and electronics, right? So, off camera, this is what I put together. And I'm thinking I could come up with something better. Or somebody can. So what I came up with was this Hobby Wing Fusion. What is it? 18 something? It's an 1800 kV brushless motor. It is a little bit bigger than the motor that's in here. So that will cause a problem, because the servo's in the way right here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these electronics out that I put in, and I'm going to take the servo out, and most likely going to move it up in this area right here. Right here you can see that the servo is now quite a ways forward now. It's still really sturdy. What I'll have to do is I'll have to take the servo horn and flip it around the back way instead of front way. So let's go ahead and pull this motor out. I did get the Fusion motor in. The one thing to keep in mind is that when you put the two screws in to mount it up, if you have screws too long, that it'll bottom out in the case. So not like these brush motors here where they're a little bit more forgiving, but you still can't go too far in. what I did is I just stuck a couple small washers right in here, and that tightened it up. It's good to go right there. When it comes time to do the final and I Loctite everything, I just have to remember to do that. So what else do we have to do? Put the receiver back in. This here will go to the battery, wherever. So, okay, we have servo, power, ESC. So if we just put this here, like approximately where it was before, go ahead and plug those in. So you know what that means, right? That means we can put power to it and bring it to life for the first time ever. Now it's time to check it out. I got it all powered on, I got it all bound. Just wanted to show you all how it works. Okay, here it goes. Oop, let's move that battery wire over here. Okay. Pretty good control here. See what the top speed is. Not bad. Reverse. Same kind of control. Drive shafts are working really good. I mean, I can't complain about this. I'm really glad that I cut the incision rear drive shaft. I didn't cut too much of it off, so if I do need to, say, lengthen the rear, you know, put longer links on it to accommodate my body or whatever, I can still do that. So, yeah. And the steering is good. Super good. Really strong. I'm liking it, you know. My experience with brushless motors before have been on my Basher truck, so you know, there's only like what, 2 modes on them. It's like off and on all the way. So I'm happy with this. So let's go ahead and move into the last part of this video when we talk about the suspension. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off. And turn this off, so don't yell at me. So for the suspension, this cantilever suspension right here was like wanting to cam over. And I have not put any oil in this yet, but I came up with this, is that I took one of my parts trees here, and the one I probably used it off of is not out here, but you can see, you know, it's got like a bunch of different parts on it. I cut like one of these and drilled it out and stuck it onto the shaft of the shock right here. You can probably see it at the very end if you look close. And that wasn't quite enough. It still wanted to cam over. So what, you know, I just needed it to stop, you know, at the stopping point. So I took like a, what, 80 millimeter shock, and I turned it into 68. I don't know. Besides that spacer, I added a couple small washers. I bought these at like Home Depot. They're like a number 6. See that? Yeah, it's really small. Actually, I use these a lot, this size. So I probably should go get me some more of those. But the ride height now is about where it should be. The front shocks, I'm most likely not going to stick with. What I did here is I moved these down like 2 or 3 holes and leveled out the body. Okay, so when I go ahead and put the body on, it doesn't look too bad. Let's go ahead and do that. It does need some more work on the mounting part. Okay, so that's pretty much it right there. It'll need to be mounted and everything, but next on this thing will be I'll get oil in the back cantilever shocks. I'm taking these bumpers off because they're like getting in the way back here of the mount. So I get the front and the rear bumper off. That'll work really well, I think, and then I can get the body down to where I want it to be. So anyway, that's it for this part of this video. Just want to say thank you for watching. If you made it to the end, make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment on any of this or any of the other videos I've come out with. And this is RC Mechanic. I'll see you next time.